Hey, what do you want to know about sex? I'm Lila. I'm the host of the new iHeart podcast, Positively Sex, Sex Ed with Pleasure. I'm an intimacy specialist. I've been a student of human relationships for just about as long as I've been a human. We all have a relationship to sex, even if we don't want it. And sex is about relationships, to ourselves, to our lovers, to our partners, and far too often to the voices in our heads telling us that what we desire is somehow wrong. That's programming, and we can reprogram. We can have a positive, celebratory relationship to our own pleasure and the pleasure of others, even if we don't like what they like. You know, most of us think about sex a lot. I certainly do. Many of us are really confused about it. And some of us are trying to create the kind of sex life we actually desire. This show is for us. Positively Sex is a sex-positive podcast that takes on timely, titillating, tender, and sometimes taboo topics. The sort of things we all want to know about and are actually dying to discuss, but for myriad reasons, cultural shame, religious rules, stuff our parents told us when we were 5, we usually don't talk about. Stuff like pleasure and bondage, our fantasy life, unexplored desires, fetishes, and kinks, and how to deal with the bad stuff that can happen when you engage in sex you don't want, aren't ready for, or that just isn't your thing. Sex positivity is a celebration of how we sex, who we sex, and whenever we choose to sex them, as long as we're all consenting adults. It is also a celebration of who we relationship with, the way we relationship with them, and how many of them there are, whether that's 0 or 1 or 9 or any other number you may please. My guests are experts in the realms of sexing and relationshiping. They are pro-doms and therapists and kink masters, sex coaches and sex educators and sex workers, doctors and non-monogamous activists, and also folks on the street with opinions.
Sex is not only just physical, it's spiritual and emotional and mental, very mental.
Sex is more about the feeling you feel inside, while love is the feeling you share.
Sex is expensive, and it is not expensive financially, it's expensive emotionally and spiritually.
Positively Sex will have all different kinds of formats. It will have unpopular opinion roundtable episodes and kiss and tell episodes, and the State of Sex address, the late sex show, and occasionally an episode with just one guest, recorded while lying down, like my previous show, Horizontal with Lila. I have so much to share with you, more than I could ever fit into 10 seasons, and it is coming, and coming, and coming, and coming, and coming. Darling, that is Positively Sex. Listen to the Positively Sex podcast, Sex Ed with Pleasure, on October 13th on the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to get your podcasts. P.S. If you're excited about this show, won't you leave me a little love note in the form of an Apple Podcasts review? 5 stars if you're as delighted as I am about having more sex positivity in this world.